Good evening. It's Michael Savage. I'm back again. I may do an evening broadcast every night for 15 to 30 minutes because I feel like it. I mean, I love my audience. My audience loves me. And frankly, I find this to be one of the greatest places to go after dinner. I had dinner. I did a test earlier on an iPhone. It didn't work. The image was reversed. We've tried to fix it. Forget about it. I'm going to go on my, screenshot here. So if you have any comments as I'm speaking, go ahead. First, I'm going to begin with a challenge. I put out a challenge earlier about the paintings behind me because I have been given the award of the best online studio background shot in the whole world. I gave myself the award because nobody matches what I have between the art, all of my books, the paintings, Teddy, just the on-air sign. Nobody can match it. When I started showing the microphone, I was glad to see younger people were doing it. That's good. So now I'm showing some paintings, and I asked you who these paintings were by. Don't worry, we're going to get to Joseph Goebbels on the Big Lie and Kamala Harris and the Big Lie and what it means. But I just finished dinner. It was easy. It was like a store-bought pizza, a mushroom pizza, a little one on cornmeal crust. With what else did I don't even know, and something else. And leftover soup from the Basque place that I like with some stuff in it, and one glass of wine. So the paintings they're not by me. I thought maybe there was an art expert in the audience. They were painted by Bernard Gutmann. He lived between 1869 and 1936, and they are scenes from Mallorca. I happened to buy them at auction in 2017 in Los Angeles, and I had no idea that the scenes were from Mallorca. I just liked his, I would say, expressionist art. He's not famous, but he's well known in the art world, not by the young generation. They only buy crap that's so obscure no one will ever buy it again. These kind of paintings are no longer greatly valuable. All the naturalist good stuff, the expressionist stuff that I've collected, the bronzes, the paintings, they're virtually worthless because of the morons who have followed me in time. They don't understand art at all. The art market collapsed. They don't buy anything except art created by a computer because their brains are empty. But I still find art beautiful, as Bernard Gutmann. I look at age. See, a guy lived between 1869 and 1936, and I add up the time, 1869 to 31, 36. He lived to 67. I say, all right, well, he probably smoked a lot, drank a lot, stooped a lot, had a lot of girls, whatever. So that's not bad. I mean, that should have kept him alive, but the smoking killed him. Probably the crap food, too. Who knows? Being an artist is very hard. But anyway, I didn't pay a lot for them in 2017. I know what I paid. I'm not going to tell you. It's not about the art. But let me go into the topic tonight. See, I'm wearing like no coat, no tie. Just talking like after dinner. It's too early here on the West Coast for me to go to sleep yet. It's been another long day's journey, and tonight I got to tell you, the election, this endless election is part of the deception. Write that one down. This endless election is part of the deception. It's to keep us distracted from what they're doing to us. They're replacing white people, meaning the great replacement theory is 100% right. It's the European Americans who built this nation are being pushed aside so the third worlders can come in and turn us into one North American continent. From Alaska, you hear this, to Tierra del Fuego. People call me in the middle of a show. They claim they're my friend. But they don't even know when I'm on the air. I love it. No one's my friend. I found that no one's my friend but you. They're replacing us. Take a look at the vermin who run these nations. Take a look at who's running Canada. A piece of crap of the worst order. They say he's the illegitimate son of Castro. It doesn't matter whether he actually is a result of a late night shtup by his whore mother or not. He's a piece of garbage who has destroyed Canada, which was once one of the most beautiful countries on earth. I almost moved to Vancouver 40 years ago. I loved it. Look how this piece of garbage, I don't even remember his name because he's a piece of dreck. The Italians would call him Strunza. He's a Strunza. Runs Canada, destroyed freedom, destroyed the nation, flooded it with people from the third world, destroyed a great nation. So they want to take Canada, the United States, Central America and South America, make it into one nation, the North American whatever association, whatever they call it. So now we have a candidate, a complete fake. I don't mind if the candidate was a Democrat of the old school. I would accept that it's a valid opposition candidate. She is an illegitimate, invalid opposition candidate to everything good about the United States of America. And as flawed as Donald Trump is, and he's as flawed as I am or you are, he represents the salvation for the United States of America. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to say. I'm not going to sit here and pound the drum for Trump right now. I've done it for many years. I mean, I've told you why I'm voting for Trump. It's not about Trump. I'm not voting for him at all. I'm voting for the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Third Amendment, the Sixth Amendment. I'm voting for the next Supreme Court justices to protect the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. I'm voting for return to our soldiers from foreign countries and the end to America's involvement in foreign conflicts. I'm voting for the Electoral College of the Republic in which I live. I'm voting for the police to be respected once again and to have law and order in my cities and my nation. I am tired of the vermin, the criminals, having a revolving door and being put back in the street. I'm voting for keeping our jobs in America and not outsourced all over the world to Mexico, China. I want everything made in America. It's that simple. That's why I'm voting for Donald Trump. So I want to go to the fraud, Kamala Harris. And you know, Joseph Goebbels was the propaganda minister for Adolf Hitler. And it's said that he wrote this about the big lie. This could be a shorty tonight, an after dinner drink with you. If you tell a big lie, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be manipulated only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic, and or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent. For the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus, by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. Now, that's a great definition of the big lie. There's no pure evidence that it was written by Nazi propaganda chief Joseph Goebbels, but it's being used by the vermin of Hollywood, Katzenberg, and Matzenberg, who are running the campaign for Kamala Harris, who is a complete fake. She's a construct. She's a complete construct of Katzenberg. They made her up. They created her. How? They don't understand what they're doing. Do they know what they're doing? Why would they want to do it? Why would Katzenberg, who has made a fortune in America by pulling the wool over the eyes of the Yoles out there who went to the movies that he made, why would this schmuck, Katzenberg, want to destroy the nation that gave him a fortune? It's the same question I ask about George Soros and his, I almost said a dirty word, and his son, the weasel, the rat, the weasel, the vermin, young Soros. Why would Jews who escaped Nazi Germany, the father, want to destroy America who gave him a home? Why? There's no answer for it other than liberalism is a mental disorder, but just too much of an obvious answer for me to use it. I would say that George Soros is mentally ill and his son is a mentally ill. You can look at the son. The son is a weasel. If he didn't have George Soros as a father, that guy could not run a McDonald's. They throw him out for bungling the French fries with the hamburger. Now, the original description of the big lie, Kamala, appeared in Mein Kampf, My Battle, by Adolf Hitler. And he was talking about Jewish people rather than a tactic that he specifically advocated. See, I know my history. You're in trouble with me because as a scholar who's written 29 books, I study things. I'm not going to tell you what he said about Jews, but what he wrote was really about himself projected on the Jews. Just as Kamala's psychotics who are saying things such as Trump's hiding from the people, they're doing exactly what Goebbels did. Exactly. So what he wrote about Hitler in Mein Kampf is what Kamala is doing. The unqualified capacity for falsehood, Kamala. And that in the big lie, there is always a certain force of credibility. Kamala. Now, this is a good line. The broad masses of a nation are always more easily corrupted in the deeper strata of their emotional nature than consciously or voluntarily. And thus, in the primitive simplicity of their minds, they more readily fall victims to the big lie than the small lie, since they themselves often tell small lies in little matters, but would be ashamed to resort to large scale falsehoods. It would never come into their heads to fabricate colossal untruths, and they would not believe that others could have the impudence to distort the truth so infamously. Even though the facts which prove this to be so may be brought clearly to their minds, they will still doubt and waver and will continue to think that there may be some other explanation from time immemorial. That is what the big lie is all about. I also found for you the OSS psychological profile of Hitler that no one has found but me, which is why I'm doing this. The Office of Strategic Services, the origin of the CIA, an organization created called the OSS, said this about Hitler. It's only one paragraph. I'm sure even you folks out there who are Kamala voters could follow the paragraph. Here's what the OSS described the use of the big lie of Hitler. His primary rules were, tell me if this rings a bell with you, never allow the public to cool off, never admit a fault or wrong, never concede that there may be some good in your enemy, never leave room for alternatives, never accept blame, concentrate on one enemy at a time, and blame him for everything that goes wrong. People will believe a big lie sooner than a little one. And if repeated frequently enough, people will sooner or later believe it. Now, that, again, is something you've not read anywhere. Nobody in the history of the media has ever found that but me. It's why I'm still working. I don't want to go into my particular desire or things that I'm thinking about of retiring for good and you'll never hear from me again. I'm close. I will probably disappear from the media forever after the election, except for the healingwheelsociety.org. I just want to go into spiritual and inspirational stuff. I'm not going to pay attention to the media anymore. I can't take it. Shall I read it to you again? Goebbels also described the big lie in another language. In an article he wrote in 1941, he called it Churchill's Lie Factory. And he was accusing the British of the very ploy that the Germans were engaging in. Listen to what Hitler wrote. Goebbels wrote. The English followed the principle that when one lies, one should lie big and stick to it. They keep up their lies even at the risk of looking ridiculous. That's Kamala today, because the people who are running her don't even know how ridiculous they look. Blacks are bailing out. Hispanics are bailing out. Women are bailing out. No one believes a word that she says. They know she's full of crap. So let me go back to the last piece that the progenitor of the CIA wrote in a psychological profile of Hitler, and tell me if this doesn't apply to Kamala Harris. OSS psychological profile of Hitler described his use of the big lie as follows. Hitler's primary rules were never allow the public to cool off, Kamala. Never admit a fault or a wrong, Kamala. Never concede that there may be some good in your enemy, Kamala. Never leave room for alternatives, Kamala. Never accept blame, Kamala. Concentrate on one enemy at a time and blame him for everything that goes wrong, Trump, by her. People will believe a big lie sooner than a little one. And if you repeat it frequently enough, people will sooner or later believe it. I'm Michael Savage. If you like what you just heard tonight, my after-dinner drink with you, hit the like button. But most importantly, please subscribe, because that way you'll be notified when I begin. Obama's lost his aura. He's full of crap. He looks like what he is. He's a billionaire, complete fraud, phony, always was. Okay, let's not go into Obama. Here's what happens. Obama made a fortune with deals while he was still in the White House. Made a fortune. We ran molasses out of Canada. Your father, too. We made a fortune. That's a joke for those of you who know the reference. He made a fortune. Netflix deals, book deals, house deals. God knows what deals him and his old lady made. They're rich people. You think they want communism? So he's going to go out there now and tell black men in a fake black accent to vote for a woman they could look right through. Why are blacks abandoning Kamala? They see through her. One thing black people know better than anybody in this country, I think, is when someone's bullshitting them. I grew up, I had friends of different races, not a lot, but I found out in my years that one thing black people know is when someone's horseshitting them. And they know she's full of it. They don't buy it. They know he's full of crap too. They're not buying him anymore. His act is old and it's over. Obama's over. I mean, let him just make his money and go away. Even Clinton slipped today or yesterday when he said that had the illegal immigrants been vetted by Mayorkas and the others in this administration, this young lady would not have died and others wouldn't have died at the hands of these illegal aliens. Even Bill Clinton understands how bad this is. I think that even Bill Clinton, separate him from Hillary for a minute. They're very different people, by the way. Here's the thing about Bill Clinton you don't know. I lived through the Clinton presidency. He was a moderate. He always was, incidentally. Yeah, he was to the left of my politics, but so what? I was to the right of most middle of the roaders. Clinton was a moderate and a realist. And Clinton knows what's going on. He knows she's a disaster, not only for America, but for him personally. Because she will unleash a storm upon America that will touch everyone in this country one way or another in the most negative ways imaginable and unimaginable. All right, I'm Michael Savage. I'm on air. This is my after dinner discussion. I may do these very often now because it's so easy for me to get on my desktop and do a 15 to 17 minute piece with you. And I am live apparently. Let me check it before I go. I have to check these things. I have to go like while I'm talking with you and see where I'm live. See if X is, yeah. Michael Savage live on X, Goebbels, Kamala, and the Big Lie. Nice. So you see, I pick times where I'm not in competition with all the famous tweeters and Xers and Zers, XYZers. And since I've won the award of the best background shot in the history of the media, I decided to show it to you tonight and go live. I'm not ready to just sit down and read my books. I ordered the books that came with I told you my favorite TV show of all time now. It beats anything Coppola has done. It beats The Sopranos. It beats, what was the one that everyone's raving about that's so great? The most recent? Oh, The Sopranos with David Chase. No, sorry. That as good as that was, and I loved it, My Brilliant Friend, an Italian RAI production, is better than all of them put together. Now, if you like subtitles, you're fine. If you like listening to a Neapolitan dialect, you're good. It's not the Italian you're used to if you're from New York, which is a much different Italian. Or even here in San Francisco, it's a different Italian language. It's not Sicilian. It's not the Calabrese, the Italian that I know a little bit of. It's a different dialect. The Naples dialect is so different, it may as well be another language. But the acting is beyond comprehension. The directing, the lighting, the photography. Most importantly, all shows are based upon the writing. So I bought the 3 novels. They arrived. The 4th one's coming tonight by 10 o'clock. And I will start reading them. I'm Michael Savage, Life After Politics, thehealingwheel.org. That's where I want you to visit me because that's where I'll be after the election. I don't know if I'm going to do anything more. It's not that I'm tired. I'm tired of listening and talking about this bullshit. I can't take it anymore. It's the same way I felt when radio was over. I can't take it anymore. Not another day of this shit. Pardon me. It's such strunza garbage. It's such crap. It's such garbage. I can't listen to it anymore. This one says this, that one says that. We know what she is. She's a construct of Hollywood and the radical left. Soros is giving them billions of dollars. She's a make-believe art, make-believe ballroom time, okay? She's one of the fronts for the New World Order of the replacement theory. She hates white people, even though white people run her campaign, and even black people can't stand her. Even black women can't stand her because they know she's a fraud to everybody. She's a fake. She got nothing going for anybody. She destroyed California. Oh, yeah. Let me remind you, in case you're that dumb, she has been DA of San Francisco. That's when the city fell apart. She was attorney general. That's when the state fell apart. She was a senator. The state fell apart. How can you not understand she has a track record and it's dismal? What is wrong with you people? I mean, if you like bums dropping their trousers and defecating outside a restaurant window, as we have in San Francisco now because of Kamala Harris's soft on crime policies, she told the cops not to bust them. We used to have great cops who could bust their heads open with a. They would take them in. They would never let them do that. We had a sane city. It was a beautiful city. That's why I moved here. I loved it. It was the most beautiful city on earth. She and the Democrat machine destroyed the city and the state. And if you want bums dropping their trousers in your town and defecating outside your breakfast joint, vote for Kamala. She's the one who'll bring you the diversity that you've been begging for. I'm Michael Savage saying good night, shalom, and may God bless America, because we sure need God right now. We need an act of God to save us from this evil machine of Katzenberg, and Rat.